Want to improve your financial situation? One of the best things that you can do is give to others. It might sound counterintuitive. You're probably saying, but I'm here to make money, Aimee. But in today's episode, we're pulling back the curtain on the momentous power you unlock when you start to give money. So let's do this. Welcome back to another episode of the Your Money, Your Life podcast. I'm your host, Aimee Cerka. We are talking today about giving money and the power, the mindset power that you unlock when you start to give money. So it might seem a little, I don't know, weird to say that giving away money creates wealth, but we really do. Stick with me today, okay? I've got several things here that I want to talk about, and this is really so powerful when we really dive into this, okay? So the first thing we need to talk about is why giving money, why you unlock this power when you begin to give money. So if you are not willing to give money, if you're holding on tight to it, if you're keeping it close to you, if you're watching on YouTube, you see this, that I'm holding it close to me, there's no room, you're closed off. There's no room for money to come in, right? But if you are willing to release money and you are able to let go, you create the energy that it's open. And you're able to receive more money because you're not holding on tight to what you have. When we hold on tight to what we have, we think that we're protecting it. But honestly, we're closing the door. We're this is it. We're locking it in. But when we are willing to release money instead, we release the energy, we open the energy that it can come back towards us as well. And that might sound a little bit of woo, but watch the YouTube video if you're listening on the podcast to see the visual example here. When we're holding on tight, we can't let anything else in. So we have to be willing to release money. Not only that, we need to build a positive relationship with money. And we've talked about before, if you are doing something that you hate, you're not really going to keep doing it. I think we've all had jobs we didn't like. We just watch the clock until we're done, right? Doing the bare minimum that we need to get by. So if we don't enjoy our relationship with money and we're having to, again, we're going to go back to the whole pinching pennies thing. We don't have to do that. But if you're doing these things that you don't really want to do, you're counting down till you don't have to do it anymore, right? But if we build a positive relationship with money and we're able to start giving money, and we're going to talk about some ways to do that in a little bit here on the episode. But when you're able to do that, and when you're able to impact others, yes, you're going to leave that impact on that. And that's great. But you're also going to feel good about yourself. And there's some people that'll say okay, that's not good. You shouldn't brag about that. And I'm not one that I'm not shoving a camera in a homeless person's face. Oh, look at me, I'm doing so great. But you can feel good about yourself knowing that you're doing things that you need to impact others. You are doing things to help your fellow man out. You're doing things and giving to organizations. We started 3 years ago now? I'm going to forget the name of the Samaritan's Purse. I think it is the Christmas shoe boxes. Have you seen these before? So my kids, three of them as of right now, we get a Christmas shoebox for all three of them, and they fill that up, and they know that they're giving a present to somebody who's a little boy or a little girl just like them somewhere on the other side of the world. And it's about giving. And there has been a couple times where it's kind of ooh, I want this, but you know what? It's always secondary to being able to give that to somebody else. It's they want one for their friend. That's what we always call them. They want to give one to their friend, but oh, can I have one too? Type thing. But even them let's see, how old are they now? 10, 5, and 3. They realize how good it feels to be able to give to somebody else. Or I'll get the sweetest. We don't talk about this. For my birthday this year, he's 10. Yeah, he was 10. And this happened. So my 10-year-old, we don't do allowances or anything in the household as of right now. I don't know that we'll ever do allowances. They'll probably get rewarded based on above and beyond, but there is a certain level of things that you have to do to contribute to the household. And we can dive into that on like a whole nother topic. We're going to create a homeschool curriculum. So if you've got kids, finances, we need to talk because we need to get that done, because our kids need to learn about money too, right? But he made me a birthday card, and it's always really sweet when he makes birthday cards. We always do homemade cards because I love seeing, like, the handwriting improve and the pictures and everything, the imagination that he comes up with. But this year in my card, his birthday is 3 days before mine. So this probably was prompted because we had just had Christmas and then his birthday, and he received some of that. But he went into his, I guess it's a piggy bank. Might have been in his wallet, but into his money, which again, there's not like a regular flow of his money, and pulled out a $5 bill and taped it inside my birthday card to be able to have that to give to me. It was done all on his own without prompting. And it was just so sweet to see that. And that's the power that we unlock when we start to give. Yes, your time is great. It is so wonderful to be able to volunteer and give your time and go serve in places and help those that are less fortunate than you. And I think it's important to teach our kids that as well. But there is only so much time that you have in a day, because your time is your most precious resource that you have. So it's not leveraged. And if you want to create an impact, why not give? And not just give of your time, but be able to give monetarily. Because you know what? When you do that, especially, it's like the butterfly effect. You don't know what positive impact, and it doesn't have to be a lot. We're going to talk about that in a minute. The positive impact that you can create, the change that you can create in somebody's day, just by randomly receiving an extra $10 or $5 or even $1. It all adds up. And it's the impact that you can create because you can leverage your money. And we can leverage our time, but we can't get our time back. But we can our money, which is why it's so important to be able to release it, let it go. We're going to create the positive relationship with money. We're going to feel good about ourselves. We're leveraging our time. We're making the most of our time, but still creating that impact and still giving back in ways that so many of us feel called to do. The next little, I guess we'll talk pro steps now about like actually doing this. Okay. So we have a giving fund. Now, I'm a fan of Discover. It sits in Discover in a savings account that is above and beyond our regular giving. So, every cent, every dollar that comes into my company, my business, 10 cents on every dollar is given to Operation Underground Railroad to help fight child sex trafficking. So if you've bought, or if you're on the wait list, if you're part of Money Mindset Makeover Blueprint, then you're helping fight child sex trafficking. If you've become part of Money Masters Inner Circle, if you're on the wait list so that you can join us when we reopen the doors, you'll be able to help fight child sex trafficking then as well. But we have a fund where we put aside money. It's above and beyond the normal amount that we give. And we set it aside. And if there's a cause that comes up, we all have those happen. We hear those things. It's normally something tragic happens and there's a need there that you see where they need this chunk of money. If you've set aside money in this giving fund and you don't touch it, when something comes up and you just need to be able to write a check to solve that problem for a family, and maybe you're not even to the point that you can write the full check, but maybe you can write half or even like a quarter of it. We've all seen the GoFundMes that don't get funded. If you can solve that problem, solve that pain that somebody is going through because you had a fund set aside like for somebody else's rainy day, you know how good you're going to feel after that? It's going to be game changing for you. So, but with that, yes, I want you to dream big. Yes, I want you to think about writing that, 5-figure check, or maybe it's just $1,000 check or $250 check for the kids that want to be able to go to this camp and they just need the money and you can just take care of it. Yes, we should dream big like that, but start now. Start with something. commit to giving that percentage, whatever it might be, on an ongoing basis. Start with 1% if you need to. If you're going through Budgeting Simplified, or if you've been through Budgeting Simplified, we talk about the giving and the way that that works, but just start somewhere. And if nothing else, I want you to start with something that is called Wealth Wednesday. Now, the idea and the concept of Wealth Wednesday comes from Ray Higdon and the Higdon Group. I'll put a link in the show notes where they talk about Wealth Wednesday and what that is. And they do things every Wednesday. But what Wealth Wednesday is they do a random act of kindness for a stranger involving a financial exchange. As you know, I've got kids in diapers. We're down to one. Hopefully we'll get rid of that one before the new baby's born, right? Just keep one in diapers. But I had two in diapers for a little bit. So for me, what I've always done when I participate in Wealth Wednesday was, they call it reverse shoplifting. So leaving either, a $5 bill, a $10 bill, a $1 bill, if money's really tight, inside the diaper container at Walmart or whatever that is. And I know with grocery pickup and so many other things, like a lot of us don't necessarily go into the stores that often. So there's other things that we can do. I've heard of people finding a baby registry on Amazon and gifting an item anonymously on someone's random list. There is, you go out to eat and tipping the bill or tipping extra, especially right now, our servers are overworked. I mean, I've been a server before, but the servers often are overworked, underappreciated. Imagine how much better you're going to make somebody's day just by giving a little bit extra, or paying for this person behind you in the drive-through. All of these things make a difference, but just finding a way to impact someone on a financial level, it doesn't have to be a lot. And we can start with $1. You can start with $5, but create the habit at least on the weekly basis that you're doing this. And you're going to be amazed at the power that you unlock. Even if you don't believe me, just try it. Okay. So your challenge today is to figure out what you're going to do. Is this something that you're already doing on a regular basis and you're just going to take it to the next level? Are you going to start that giving fund? Are you going to start participating in Wealth Wednesday? Either finding something to do in person or finding a way to do things electronically. Maybe it's giving to that, buying a gift off the Amazon registry, or finding something that you can do from home, since some of us don't get out as often anymore, or we're not going to the grocery stores at least. Finding something to do. And then I want to celebrate with you this power that you're unlocking, this way that you're going to feel good about yourself and create an impact on others at the same time. So send me a message on Instagram. Let me know what you're doing and just try it. Okay. Release some of that energy. If you're saying things are so tight, Aimee, right now, I can't do it. You've seen inflation. You've seen all these problems that are coming. I know, but trust me, this is so powerful. That's why it is okay to start small, because sometimes we just need to take that first little step in the right direction, and you'll be amazed at what doors open. This is just one of the things that we talk about inside the Money Mindset Makeover Blueprint. So if you're wondering, can I actually do this? Make sure you're on the wait list so you can be the first to know about the Money Mindset Makeover Blueprint. And we'll see you next time for another episode of the Your Money, Your Life podcast. Bye for now.